Alright guys, part 2. So at this point we're still heading towards the detour that saw us do about 40 to 80 extra kilometers around one of the flooded, I suppose, rivers. And as you can see, everything's still pretty much straight with some still larger dunes going up and down, but really nothing too exciting. It really allows you to smash it out on these sections here in the flat ground bottoms. I mean, you can be doing 100 easily, and this is where I'd really advise everybody to smash it out as much as they can and get as many kilometers under their belt. I also just want to touch on the fuel and water. So I was carrying two 10-litre jerrys strapped to my panniers. That mated with the 80-litre IMS tank, gave me 38 litres, which gave me plenty of range, more than I actually needed. And we're also carrying 12 litres of water. So this bag you can see on the front of my handlebars, that's a 3-litre camel pack. I had two strapped to the panniers as well, and I was carrying an extra 3 litres on my backpack. So that was 12 litres there in total. And I think you don't want to skip on the water, to be honest. And now we're at the first detour, the only detour. And I think you can see ahead of me right now, that's not sand there where that detour sign is, that's actually water. And I really wished I filmed more of this. We actually got off and went and had a look. We thought possibly we could just push the bikes across, but bikes not even full of drives, we're going to get through that. It was overhead, head height, that water.
Oh mate, what can we do? What can we use?
Fucking, I had a spare one somewhere.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
What are you wanting to do?
Fuck. I want to just take off my top and shit.
Yeah, okay.
Can you find me just any
I'll give...
sort of flat thing?
So what happened here is I lost my little larger foot pad that I put under my side stand. So I actually left it on top of Big Red and then just rode off. I'm obviously not used to having to put a pad under the side stand each time we stopped on the sand. And yeah, so I was just saying to Chris, I think I had a spare one, but I actually left that at home. So for the rest of the trip, I was just trying to find random stones, sticks, any object to shove under the side stand so the bike wouldn't just fall into the ground, basically. But that's a top tip. If you can get a plate actually welded to your side stand, a larger flat plate, that would be amazing. You wouldn't have to worry about putting something in and out. And you can see a few of the flies buzzing around there, and Chris waving them away. I mean, they're just disgusting. Look at that. And that's my face net, I think, coming off, going back in my bag. So they are, I mean, you need that. The flies there are just disgusting. You need a head net. You need it while you're eating, everything. Until the sun goes down, they are just attacking you constantly. You know, 30 seconds after you've stopped, they're all there. They're all there after you.
K's back, isn't it?
Oh, how far is the detour?
I don't know, I think it's about 18 K's or something up there.
Surely it's 40 and 40 back.
18 and 3 across or something.
80?
18.
So that's 160.
1/8. 1/8.
We don't have enough fuel for 180 extra?
No. 18.
I have my earplugs in.
Total?
No, 18 up, 3 across, 18 back.
So it's less than 80. Oh yeah, fine. Sweet. Let me
Yeah, I had my earplugs in, so I couldn't really hear much. And
can you pass me my cable?
Chris's accent isn't the easiest to understand either at the best of times, so a bit of slight communication error there. But yeah, it ended up being, I think, around just over 50 kilometers extra we had to do. And on the left here, you can see the river running still. The detour itself was really nice, actually. It was just like this, very flowy, flat, no sand dunes or anything. And to be honest, there wasn't any clear signs either for us as to where the detour was, where we actually had to cross. So every now and then we'd pull up and try and figure out if it was shallow enough yet for us to actually cross. without having to, without drowning the bikes basically. But this probably added a good extra hour and a bit onto the whole trip, and that added with the fact that we probably only left Birdsville just before 10 a.m. in the morning. We got into camp really late, and that's one point I'd make as well, and stress is if you could be on the bikes leaving Birdsville at 8 a.m, that take a whole lot of pressure off you in terms of completing the trip in 2 days. We just woke up far too late each morning, which you'll see ended up resulting in us not getting to Mount Dare on the second night. You can also see how green it is for a change actually compared to the proper desert we were just coming through. From all those rains, the desert really came alive, and I'd be quite interested to do it again and see what the difference is, because we obviously I've only ever crossed it after these massive rainfalls when things were particularly green compared to normal. Now, tyre-wise, I was running a D606 on the rear, brand new 606 on the rear, and a near enough new MT21 Pirelli on the front. And I believe I was running 20 psi in the front and rear, so nothing super low. I think at the time I reckoned that with all the extra weight on the back, I didn't really want to run, even though I had rim locks, I didn't want to run anything under 10. I just thought it was far too much weight. And those tyres did well, they did really well. I can't complain. At no point was I wanting more traction or feeling like I needed more traction. So we're now cutting across towards the river, and there's just one more climb, and I think we then approach the river. This sand dune actually came out of nowhere. It was relatively flat, and all of a sudden there was just one sign pointing this way, and we just went and had a look, and yeah, there it is. You can see the water just over the crest. Now again, I wish I filmed this, but we actually ended up pushing the bikes over. We didn't ride them through. It was still just that little bit too deep, where if anything went wrong and the bike did drop, we would have drowned them. And we really couldn't be bothered with taking off the tanks and spark plug and getting the bike running again if we actually ended up drowning the bikes. But this was actually quite nice as well, because it was quite refreshing. We tried to put bags over our boots, but that didn't work, so we obviously ended up just getting completely soaked. But the flip side of that was the next ride was just amazing. It was nice and cool. And here we are at Pogble's Corner. So this was just before we camped, just Chris and I taking a few photos. We camped probably about 30 kilometers further down from this point. As you can see, the sun's coming down, and this is our campsite. The sun's glaring straight in our faces at that point, so we decided to just make a camp just off one of the pans. And beautiful campsite. The stars were amazing. No light at all. This is a failed attempt at some night photography. And this was just early in the morning, waiting for Chris to get up. And like I said before, we probably only left at about 10 o'clock again. Unfortunately, I got a flat tire. As I pulled into camp, we noticed my rear tire was flat, and we changed it for a new tube, and we then just took it easy that night, used the sat phone to call back home, let everyone know we were right, and I think we tucked into some whiskey. I think we actually finished nearly half a bottle of whiskey between us. So as you can imagine, it was quite a good night. A great feeling knowing that we were halfway through the Simpson as well, and with nobody else around us. completely alone there. A really amazing experience and feeling.